Hey guys, this is Eric from Gotham Games here with a story for you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
It was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot.
So Manch and I were sitting there watching the Bulls game, and after the game, Manch was kind of tired, so he wanted to go back to his place, which is reasonable. So I was like, alright, cool. I think I'm going to get some Jimmy John's, so let's walk out together. So we're walking out together, no big deal. He splits off because Jimmy John's goes one way and his place goes the other. So I'm going to Jimmy John's and I get my sub without a hitch. Everything's all good to go. And I'm going back to my place, and there's two entrances to the apartment building. One is in the front and one is in the back. Now in the back, there's just a stairwell and the key fob. So the key fob, you have to like scan your little thing and you get in the door. So in the front, it's the same thing. But in the front, there's two elevators. So I get around the corner, and there's a guy trying to scan the key fob, and it's not opening because it's broken for some chance. And he's like, crap, I have to go all the way around this building and go to the front, get to the elevators, blah, blah, blah. It's a long walk. So I'm like, okay, how about we could just go through this shortcut right here? And there's a door that opens up, and it goes through the parking garage, which is built kind of underneath the apartment building itself. So he's like, oh, cool, I didn't know about this. So we're walking and talking, and he asked me what my name was, and I told him my name was Eric, and no big deal. And then he asked me, or he told me what his name was, but he might want to stay anonymous. So for the sake of the story, let's just say his name's Kevin. And so Kevin and I were walking to the front of the building through the shortcut underneath the building, and he was asking me where I was from, and I was like, oh, I'm just from around here, going to Illinois State in my junior year. And he's like, oh, cool, what major are you in? I'm like, oh, I'm in a arts tech major. And he's like, what? I'm like, okay, it's an arts tech major. And he's like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, okay. So we got the usual answer to anybody who tells anybody they're an arts tech major, which all you arts tech majors out there know exactly what it is, because you have to explain it after you say it. It's not like you're a business major, you don't have to explain it. But anyways, that's a completely different story by itself. So anyway, so I'm telling them, oh, we do video and audio, and we build projects, and we just have fun with stuff, and it's kind of cool. It's like integrated stuff. It's like a small niche though here at the college. There's not many of us in the program, and we have fun. And he's like, oh, cool. Are you gonna be like in Broadway at like New York? And I'm like, well, I don't know about that, man. I was thinking maybe like Chicago or something like that, maybe St. Louis. And he's like, don't shoot too low, because if you shoot low enough, you might miss the last hoop. I'm like, wow, what's this guy talking about? And he's like, well, you got to shoot high, man. If don't sell yourself short, you got to shoot high, and then you'll make it. If you shoot low, you'll miss the last hoop, and then you'll just wind up nowhere. And I'm like, wow, this guy, I just met him 5 seconds ago, not even, and he's telling me this life advice that I kind of really needed right now. Just some random stranger I just met. And so I took it to heart, and we got to the elevators, and he went his way on his floor, and I went up on mine, and everything's good. Now you're thinking, well, that's kind of weird. Why would he need my help to get to the elevators? And so the part of the story that I kind of left out in the beginning is that this guy's actually blind. He stated that the door wasn't working, and he was frustrated that he would have to walk around the building, and that's pretty damn reasonable if you ask me. And so I tell him there's a door, and you go underneath the building, and he's like, oh, cool. So we get through the door and have like a little struggle, and he's like, oh, I'll just walk on my right side, and we can walk there together. I'm like, okay. So I got him through the parking lot, and that's what happened. And he told me that don't sell yourself short. Whatever you do, don't sell yourself short. So if there's anything to be learned from this, is just keep on trucking, do what you do, and aim high.